Hey there. I've been attacked by a demon. Okay, so not the demons from movies that like crawl out of a demon hole in the basement where people were being like ritually murdered and then destroy the house and rearrange my body parts. Not that kind. So, no, this is more of a demon I created. It was feeding off the negative energy within me, and I just felt too weak to shake it. So, kind of feels like a depressive episode. I'm sure a lot of you have felt this before. So, I'm gonna kind of take you through it now. Here's how it happened. So, at this point, I was not even 10 days into ending my previous career and working on my visibility and my offerings for my new business. So, the world, meanwhile, is gone absolutely insane. Of course. My government is involved in a war that is killing children, that is supporting genocide and ethnic cleansing, that is setting the land of my ancestors ablaze, and purposely targeting and the helping and humanitarian professionals that are trying to save people's lives. And, all of this, I believe, to distract from the wealthy, powerful criminals facing pedophilia and trafficking exposure and, God willing, justice. So this, of course, doesn't even scrape the surface of everything going on, but this is kind of everything that's going on out here. So then how can I in this moment be thinking about social media content, the influencer that's always somehow in their car and just has to create a video. I don't get that, but um whatever, to each their own. But worrying about my visibility and connecting with my soulmate clients and trying to build a business and a community with all of this stuff going on. So my thoughts start spiraling, which then my emotions get darker and they go and they take me to a dark place, and I can't seem to concentrate on anything except that. I spend hours just like staring off and feeling these gross feelings and doubts about myself, and like the self-talk gets ugly. And then my body starts becoming weak because then I just don't want to eat. I'd rather just keep sitting here and getting weaker and weaker and weaker. So it becomes like the whole mind, body, and spirit trifecta of demon creation. So, this can go on for days, weeks, little ups and downs, but mostly I kind of default back into it sometimes. So I became angry, I became hopeless. And I started explaining to my dog that I'm such an idiot for thinking that I could just walk right into a successful new life. And then on the clock, as I'm walking out, I see 11:11. I cynically say something like, see, even the angels agree I'm an idiot. And instead of seeing that angel numbers are just little nudges of love. And I laughed at that though, because I knew angels are nothing but love energy, and I was just being a brat because I wanted to be. I was intentionally trying to be a brat and keep myself down. So then the negative demon mantras start getting whispered into me, and it's all I can think of. And maybe some of these sound familiar to you. So some of the things that came up were, you shouldn't have quit because now you'll never be able to support yourself. Why are you going to the grocery store? Because you won't be able to afford food. Not with these prices now, and not after all those other problems you have to fix in your house. And you're such a mess. You're such a mess in your life emotionally. How can you help others? No one understands what you're trying to do, Matt. That's why they don't talk to you about it. That's why no one checks in on you and asks how it's going. You don't even know what you're doing. They just don't want to say it to you. You are a failure. Sound familiar? That's our ego talking. Ego is based in fear. Ego is based on this ridiculous pressure to fix everything and make everything painless. Not possible, right? Not in this world. So this probably went on, at this point for about 3 days until I had a session with my wonderful life coach and was receiving voice notes from an amazing spiritual mentor. So finally, my coach took me through an exercise that I would have absolutely done for anyone else who came to me with this. Um, Basically, it's describing the demon and talking to it. What does it want? What is it trying to do? So immediately I sensed this shadowy figure over here with like a sour disposition and just whispering more lies into my ear over here. And my gut reaction right away was to say, get the fuck out, despair demon. There's no place for you here. How can I believe it's lies? I mean, I spent months listening to my intuition when I was in a peaceful state, when I was in alignment. And to bring me to the point where I still now believed it's lies, like I didn't understand it. But this was different, though. I will say that. And this is a testament to the personal growth that I have done and that everyone is able to do. Because if I can do it, anyone can do it. So, I was able to see logically that this was all bullshit. I was able to see that these were ego fears. I was able to see that this creeps up from time to time, and it's just me getting antsy. It's just me adapting to the change. I was in corporate America where everything must be immediate, everything must have deliverables, everything it must show some sort of success. All your success is based on goal completion and how much money the company's making. Not you, but how much money the company's making, right? And I had to switch gears completely to a much slower paced process because that's how life really works. That's how energy really works, much more subtle. So, as a testament to my personal growth, I was able to see what was actually happening. I was able to be a witness to the thoughts, a witness to the emotions. And if I could witness them, then I am not them, right? I can see the screen in front of me, so I am not the screen. If I were the screen, I wouldn't be able to see it. I would be the screen. So I'm not these thoughts. I'm not these emotions because I can see them happening. I can sense them happening. I'm watching it happen. So I knew that this was temporary and it would pass, but usually we have to take some sort of action. Um, Waiting, yes, the body eventually cannot handle that type of despair and negativity for so long, and you kind of snap out of it, sort of, depending. Um, but it was up to me to call in my powers. It was up to me to take the next steps. Kind of saying yes to a divine energy to cast it out, basically, to cast out these demons. So by this time, I decided what I like to do is a ritual. I love a ritual. Um, by the time I got to the ritual that I wanted to perform, which usually just make up as I'm going through it, I already knew that the demon was evaporating. This energy was already going away. So, because I had already set the intention to stop this spiral, that's the important part. Our belief in our power to create change and the intention to do so simultaneously. So I went and picked up a Sacred Heart of Jesus candle, votive candle, and immediately I could feel the tears welling up in my eyes. I felt that tingling in my face and congestion in my nose. It was the ego surrendering to my higher self, to my soul. I played a crystal bowl attuned to the root chakra, and I just to get my head clear and get out of this space and get more grounded in my body. Um, and then I started, this is the most important part. I started countering the demon's lies with different statements. So remember all those lies that I listed, ending with, I'm a failure? This is what came up instead. I quit a job that sucked life energy out of me after having developed a plan to support myself the entire calendar year. I spend money on what I need and what makes me happy because I planned for this financially. I am good with money and I won't do anything stupid. That's not me. I am a gorgeous mess, and messy shadow work, being human, is what makes me a great candidate to help others also doing messy shadow work. If I haven't been through it, how could I talk to other people about it? Those who need to understand what I do will come to me and we will vibe. The rest don't need to be part of this. I am a success. And success for me is happiness. It's purpose. It's aligning to that purpose through learning and growing and having enough money to just live happily and travel the world and then be able to give back along the way. So I tell you this story about my demon because I believe so many of you can relate for sure. And I wanted you to see that we have the divine power within us to heal and save ourselves. We need to keep doing it. We need to keep going. We need to say yes and then to allow the energy to flow. Allow us to be a vessel of that divine energy to flow. Take the necessary steps that are in front of us and then surrender the rest and let its own divine timing take you through it. For the children of the Levant and of Iran, for the soldiers that are sent needlessly to their deaths, being used by sociopaths, feeding off their own demons. For a better world tomorrow, we need to heal ourselves today. We need to stay in the eternal now and leave the rest to the divine intelligence. So I love you for listening this far, and I see your beautiful light. And if you want to learn more or hear more, head over to my website, weareradiantsouls.com. And I love you. Keep shining, babe.